Yo, Bonzi Duck with the sub as we come in. Good morning, Guido coming at you with a Coffee Talk Live, which we did not do last week. Good morning, Pilgrim.
Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Guido, Colonials, Brits, Euros, and rest of the world. With my cup of tea, suitably basking in the sunshine through the windows, as you can see. That's what we call sunshine in the UK. It's like grey clouds and just a little bit light. But yeah, enjoying my cup of tea. Welcome, everybody.
I am basking.
Yeah, no, look, I've had a bit of a trim, but it's coming back again. Sorry, Cliffy. Yeah, you never mentioned it. Look, you never mentioned it.
I did. I just noticed, actually.
You noticed it, but never mentioned it. Yeah,
so...
I haven't sent you that comb yet, but I will do.
So, what happened?
Well, it was... I'll tell you what it was. I was asleep. And I woke up, and because it had grown quite long here, it had folded up, and it was like this. So I was like, oh, God, I'll get rid of this. So I got up that morning and just trimmed it up a bit. You know what I mean?
When you said you were asleep, I thought you said you're going to wake up to your wife shaving it off with the
that was possibly going to be the next thing, but yeah. So yeah, I actually woke up with hair all over the place. It was like quite disturbing. So I thought I'd just trim it back a bit. That'll clearly grow again. You know?
So that's the story. It's not your wife didn't make you get rid of it.
Yeah, that's the story, and I'm sticking to it. Honestly.
All right. All right. Yeah, grumpy old man. We got lucky again. A lot of people did not, though, man. Holy cow! What a mess.
No, we were just saying, weren't we? How bad?
Yeah, so I was telling Pilgrim this, and I think most of you guys know this, but that thing went right up the west coast up a significant part of the west coast of Florida, and counterclockwise rotation just pushed water into all the communities along the west coast, and then got the Big Bend area, obviously, pushed it all into there, and then rolled over the ground. There's another town, Valdosta. Slam Valdosta, missed Tallahassee mostly, but still Tallahassee had a mess, and then now it's up in the mountains.
It won't go as far as Alabama or something like that.
Oh, it's past. Yeah, it's.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah, it goes. Usually. Well, I mean, they're not a hurricane but it's a low pressure system with a lot of rain, and it just travels up and usually out into the Atlantic at some point. But a lot of times they'll even get into New York and to the Northeast.
Wow.
With the rain and all that, I mean, it'll still be spinning a little bit usually, but yeah, freaking mess, man.
Well, we were just saying, I do feel really, really sorry for people who are getting hit by that sort of stuff. Yeah. I mean, we've got floods over here because we've had a couple of weeks of rain now, and you just look at people, and the water invades your home and brings sewage, mud, bits of wood and all sorts of crap with it. So afterwards, when it's all done, the cleanup thing is just not pumping water out.
Yeah.
I don't know how people do it. I mean, I'd be like, I'll burn the house down, sod it. You know what I mean? Go with a caravan or something.
Yeah, and in modern homes with wallboard and insulation and all the things, the way modern homes are built, it's usually you got to tear all that stuff out and redo it. It's not like it'll get mold in it. You can't really just. I mean, you can. Some people do. It's you just live with it. But the right thing to do is to tear it all out and redo it all, and it's just. Yeah. Depending on how high it goes, it will soak up to another certain amount. So you have to figure that out, and then cut across.
Yeah, and it's all. I mean, it's a huge insurance cost, and then your insurance goes up the next year because now you're living in a floodplain, and or you're on a a track of any hurricane that comes in. I mean, I don't know how you guys deal with it because you get hurricanes so many times.
There's already supposedly another low brewing down there. I haven't looked too much at it.
Yeah.
But it's hurricane season. It's how it do.
It is what it is, and I don't like that phrase, but if you're going to live in that area, then you have to account for that, don't you? I guess.
Yep.
Or insurance just cancels your policy. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we can't insure you. You're too much of a risk.
Yeah. Yep. Crazy. But
it says it's on the Kentucky-Tennessee border now.
Right.
That is way up there, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I'm not sure where it's supposed to go, but it'll keep traveling. They slow down eventually, but it's bringing a lot of rain. Had some dams.
Is it because it's low pressure? Let me just work this one out. is it because the Gulf of Mexico is so warm that it drags the cold air in from further south or from the east? How does that all? I don't know. I'm not a weatherman, but you know.
Well, I mean, a low is associated with a lot of precipitation.
Right, so it's dragging water off the
off the Gulf,
off the Gulf, right?
Yeah, warm water. Yeah, absolutely. The tropics, the warm water, the way the prevailing winds are. That's about the depth of my.
That's the depth of it.
Yeah, that's the
as
depth
a pilot, you don't need to know because you're above all that.
It was a relatively weak storm until right at the end, and sometimes they'll do that within hours. They'll just,
Wow.
And it was out over the Gulf for a while without anything else interfering with it. So once it kind of gins up and gets going, so they figure it might have hit as a 4. I don't know if it was a 4, but
right.
Doesn't matter because the amount of rain and water that it pushed into everything was more than enough.
Yeah.
But we were worried about
something to live on a boat, isn't there? There's something about that. Get yourself a big boat and live on that instead.
We were worried about my daughter's apartment. She's been here since the storm, so she's heading back today.
Oh right, is it ground floor then?
She's on the 3rd floor, but in Tallahassee they had a lot of trees and power, so it's got an old canopy. I mean they've got just really old oaks, a lot of trees in Tallahassee, so the wind events, even if it's just a bad thunderstorm, tends to knock trees down and take out power.
Yeah, that's something, again, you don't think about. You think about the floodwaters from a hurricane, but then on top of that, you've got, as you say, the power goes out, the trees get flung around, bits of cars get flung around and everything. You're like, crikey.
I saw a lady was doing a video on social media, and it was her and her husband walking from their house to their parents. And it just reminded me of exactly what happened to us because they're going around the trees and over the trees and they're just trying to go down the road, and then you have to take all these detours and kind of climb over things because trees are all over the place. Yeah, crazy.
Well, I mean, you had no power for ages, did you? You had a generator going or something, didn't you?
Yeah, we didn't have power in a couple of weeks, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a nightmare. Even trying to, like power source stuff away or any sort of cleanup, you need power, don't you? Yeah.
I didn't have. So it happened in October. I think we were 2 months without internet and cable and all that, as I recall, and we were about 2 or 3 weeks without power. Nice. Probably closer to 3 because there were a few days I wasn't here and we were back and forth a lot. But yeah. Anyway,
do you have just to close this whole session up?
Yeah.
At this moment, do you have something like we have? It's called Military Aid to the Civil Community. So it's MACC. It's called MAC. So the Army get involved with the Navy, the Air Force. They all get involved and they come and help out. So it's called MAC. So we get tasked, or the British military gets tasked to do those aid jobs. Helping people out, clear out all the.
That is
your case.
That is the function of our National Guard system.
Is what the National Guard system is? Oh, okay, got you. All right.
So the state guard, each state has its own section of National Guard or Guardsmen. Some of them are National Guard. It's very, very complicated who's working for who at times. But in general, each state has their own National Guard of various kinds, Army, Air Force. So those people will be tasked with that kind of thing.
Your Constitution states, does it not? Your Constitution states that the National Army, Air Force, and Navy is not allowed to be deployed on home territory.
So the Constitution, I don't believe, mentions that, but we have a concept called posse comitatus, which is what you just said, that the active military is not to be used for policing.
On home ground.
On home
For
turf.
Policing, right.
Right.
Okay.
So
you use the National Guard then?
Yeah, and they're not generally given policing power. So every time you see like the riots and stuff, and everyone's like, bring out the National Guard, they'll sort it out, all that shit.
Yeah.
They go stand there. I mean, honestly, if we're honest about it, it's paper tiger. It's manpower. It's people who can, and generally what they really do is they support the police in all the supporting roles. So they'll do a lot of logistical stuff. They'll be there as a force by presence kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I would say that I am betting most of the time they don't even have any live ammo.
No.
So
No, because police have primacy, don't they?
yeah. Now if the governor can, I wouldn't say, I'm going to use the wrong word, and somebody in here knows this. It's probably not deputized, but I believe the governor can give them authority in certain circumstances with emergency powers to do things like that. But it gets real sticky because the country has a long tradition of the military not policing in our territory. So
yeah, no, and I mean, and that's fair enough. I mean, with Northern Ireland, and not let's get political about Ireland, but Northern Ireland, we were always termed in support of the police. So we were not allowed to make any arrest without a police being there.
Right.
So we could help out, we could do riot control and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it was in support of the RUC, so they had to be present.
Yeah.
We couldn't take any individual action as a military force.
Yep.
We didn't have the law.
Generally under the command of the policing. Yeah, Sasquatch. I'm sorry to hear that. In fact, Notso.
It's not good, is it?
Yeah, Notso, my buddy here, his parents are in Nashville, and he hasn't talked to them either. So it's all very touch and go with that crap right now.
When he says we called the centre Sasquatch, what does that mean? Is there some sort of central coordination, emergency?
Probably there'll be some. Yeah, exactly. There'll be numbers for all that they're setting up. That hey, if you call us, and that twofold. They'll take the information from Sasquatch or whoever's calling on who hasn't been contacted. They'll start writing that. Then they'll figure out, all right, which people aren't being contacted. Then they'll try, when they try to get to them, they'll know, who
so
might.
There is something happening. It's not like they've just gone, get sod off or something. You know what I mean?
I mean, the local authorities are, all right, we know where the houses are. Here's the people no one's contacted. As we move through and start figuring out, we'll try to check on them when we get there, kind of thing. But he said they can't get there yet, so.
Well, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed they can sort that out, Sasquatch, man.
Yeah, man. There's some crazy videos on just people being idiots. Like, I don't know. One person was a whole hillside gave way. You know how if you've ever seen it, it's got a term. I don't know what it is, but it's a flood. But it's also the side of the hill giving way, and it's mud and muck.
Yeah, like a landslide. Or
but it's like earth but liquid. That kind. It's
yeah.
And when it gives away, it just comes down the hill, and this person is standing there videoing this coming at them. I think they're just to the side of it, thinking it's going to go by, but all of a sudden, you're like, oh, you're getting hit. Yeah. So they start running. I don't even know what happened to the person.
Too late, innit?
Yeah.
When you start running at that point. People do it with avalanches and everything. About snow avalanches. They stand there and film it, and then they realise that they're like 30 yards away from it. And then they go, oh, better start running. Yeah.
Exactly, Cliffy. Mudslide, but not the kind you get at Applebee's. Yep.
I'm taking that as some sort of eat. A mudslide is a food or something. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we had the we're mixing things up here, but we had the National Guard here when we had the hurricane. They came in to help, but it was mostly just support and logistics and presence.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to have a few blokes about, you know what I mean? And you can call them and say, look, I've got this tree, I need help.
I mean, if push came to shove and something really stupid started happening, more than likely they would do something.
Yeah.
But, it's just presence.
There's always that tendency, there's always that element out there that go looting when something like this happens, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
They think, it's time to go to, the Walmart and take some free goods out of there, or whatever, or your house even,
Yeah, we didn't have that here because everyone owns at least several firearms.
Yeah. It's like, feel free. Enter my house anytime you want some extra holes in your body.
I know a guy who shot an intruder in the leg during ours.
Well, there you go. He was lucky that he only got it in the leg. He didn't get a second.
He was, and it was, because they figure everyone's gone, right? So they're trying to get into the power's out, everything. So they're opportunists. They're going to try to rob places while nobody's there, Sure. But he happened to be there. He'd driven in.
Fantastic.
We
need this over here.
Well, he's a medical. I'll just say he's a medical professional. I'll leave it at that. And
good man.
He went to his hospital. He's like, hey, just so you know, if a guy comes in with a wound to the whatever leg it was, let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
let me know.
He's
let
like,
me know his name.
Nobody ever saw the guy.
Yeah, because they ain't gonna go to hospital, are they?
Yeah, Grumpy. There was a.
Brilliant.
Yeah, you loot, we shoot. That was everywhere. In fact, there were neighborhoods that got together.
Cool.
Oh yeah, there are neighborhoods that spray painted plywood and put it at the
See, in the UK, we would have a sign saying, "If you loot my house, you're going to be told off very severely. Somebody will finger wag at you if you loot my house."
And let me know if you're coming in, and I'll make sure you don't fall down and sue me. I'll make you a cup.
Sure, yes.
I'll make you a cuppa. Make you a cuppa.
Yeah. Dear, oh dear.
We had.
I don't mind admitting this now because it's 30 years ago, and I think the statute law allows me to say this without being arrested. But I used to store my weapons at home. When I was at Hereford, so I used to have my pistols at home. At least I didn't have my longs. So I used to store them at home, and I just thought, I want somebody to break in. I really do want somebody to break in, because I just slot them at the door. You know what I mean? It would be justice, absolute justice. But,
yeah. Nobody.
I mean, I used to store them in a safe, but occasionally I would forget to lock the safe. And my kids were only like 6 and 5 or 4. And one time my lad climbed. They were in a cupboard, but he climbed the cupboard and the safe door was open. And of course, I walked in and he's there playing with the Heckler-Koch USP-40. I'm like, "Can you put that down? Just put it on the floor. Don't touch anything. Just put it on the floor." So yeah, I got a lot of shit for that. I tell you.
Yeah, I definitely kept mine away from the kids.
Yeah. But I did take my lad to the 25-meter range and let him shoot. I had a Smith & Wesson 357 revolver, and we used to do our own loads. So we used to pack our own loads like a lot of you guys do. And I had, I think it was a load and a half in some shells, and I didn't remember this. So I took him. He was 6 years old. I took him to the 25-meter range, set it all up and everything. I taught him all the safety and everything else. So I stood behind him while he fired it. Well, it knocked him back about 2 feet. So he put it on the ground. He put it on the ground. He went, "I don't like that. I don't want to play with that anymore." I went, "Yeah, okay." Yeah, he went flying, mate. It was just like a bang.
I'm just reading Sasquatch. It's crazy, the drone stuff that goes on, because what a capability that is. I mean, especially for the search and rescue and that stuff. And now the drones are so capable. You can depending on how it's controlled, they can go quite far. You can program it actually to be autonomous.
There's a long battery time on them and everything now. You can have them up for an hour or two.
Some of them you can program the route, so you don't even have to have control. You just say, "Go here, go here, go here," and come back. And it'll do the GPS thing, and then you can control it and land it when it comes back. Some will just land themselves if you take it off from a spot and it's clear enough. Now you got to get the altitudes right, because if it goes past your direct control in sight, not all of them
has to understand where it's at.
You got to get just make sure. And that's tricky in the mountains, because there's tree heights and mountain heights and all that stuff. But I mean, if it's a ridge over and you just can't get there, the drone just flies over and you can see it and it'll take the picture. It's awesome, man.
But they're big enough now. Some of them, like Sasquatch just says, they can drop stuff. They can drop.
Yeah, big enough ones.
In Ukraine, don't they? They drop grenades, but.
I mean, say like your elderly
water.
Parents or whatever, like Sasquatch was saying. Say they're diabetic or whatever. I mean, it doesn't. That's not very heavy. You just drop off, insulin or whatever, or pills or whatever they might need. That's pretty awesome. Yeah.
And it's good. It's good that people sort of get together and work that out. And to be fair to the younger generation, they're the ones that would understand all this, and I bet they're in there doing it. You know what I mean? Old buggers like me wouldn't be able to operate it.
Insulin and pizza, yeah.
Yeah.
But you laugh. But when you're in a situation like that and you've been there for 3 or 4 days, dealing with that kind of crap.
Yeah.
A nice hot pizza.
Yeah.
Goes a long way towards changing attitudes, man.
Well, it's a morale thing, isn't it? You can get to a point after 2 or 3 days, you're like, "I hate this, and this is not working right, and I'm on my own, I'm struggling," and all of a sudden something buzzes above your head and drops you a hot pizza. Well, you're like, "Hey, we can do this."
Yeah, they'll take all that information, Sasquatch. I mean, emergency centers are really interesting, especially if they're good. The amount of information they can pick up and pass.
Sure.
It's,
Who mans them then? Is that like the local sort of government?
Yeah, it'll depend on which every department will have some kind of EOC plan. Whether it's a good one or not is another question. Obviously, the guard kind of lives by those things. They have all that stuff built up, so they'll spin up an EOC. Our base has one. Each county has one. Each city has one. But depending on the size and the resources of the city, it could be 2 people or whatever.
Yeah.
But you learn quickly in situations like that.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Exactly, Jimmy. I mean, you start with the plan and then you deviate as required from there.
Absolutely.
All right, tanks.
All right.
Tanks.
Let's do tanks.
Let's see. 100 Battle Challenge, man. I am finishing up my tier 6s.
Right.
Let's go over
Until
here.
some more come along.
Yeah. Well, finishing up the battle pass points because they only have 100. So I've the Burza. I'm still working on the Burza. I've got the what are their tier? Oh, Junu. This is a pretty good tank. I like this thing. Actually, 2-marked that thing. That's interesting. To me, anyway. And now to you.
Yeah.
Charde Transition. Close, 64 points on that one. The Staghound, which for some reason I also 2-marked.
You quite like that, don't you?
I don't know why, man.
Yeah. Why not?
It should be garbage. I killed Clippy. No, I don't think actually. Did I kill you? I at least shot you. I know I shot you once. We ended up in a battle yesterday, and it was a really bad day. And I'm in the Crocodile right here, which I also finished. I don't know why I like this thing either, but I do. Somehow I'm 71% in it. It's the weirdest thing. Probably luck, really. But bottom tier. We were both bottom tier in a tier 8 on... What's the one where you spawn high and low? Is it Westfield? I think it's Westfield.
Yeah, Westfield.
Yeah. This has 2 very different spawns. And I remember, Cliffy, when we started that battle, I didn't notice you were on the other team. Because I rarely do.
He says that, Cliffy. He spotted you straight away. He was going to go for you.
No, I'm too dense. I don't know why. I know why. Because I'm a fighter pilot and the world revolves around me. So I don't care if anyone else is.
All right.
It says more.
It's not about the airframe. It's about the pilot.
It says more about me than you, fellas. So my long-winded story. I remember when we started because I was bottom tier in the Crocodile and I had spawned up top on Westfield. This thing has no gun depression. You know what I mean? I think its gun depression is actually +2. Like
it's an anti-aircraft gun.
It is so difficult to play this thing on any kind of rock, even a rock. If a rock, it's just. So I'm looking at this going, well, I don't even. What am I going to do? There was a Progetto 54, I think, and a couple other tier 8. Now the good news is there wasn't really. Weren't super dangerous tier 8s. The Progetto was probably the most dangerous thing. There was a Scorpion that could hide in the bushes and slap me pretty hard. But so anyway, I went up. I don't remember. I think we were south spawn. I went up to the hill, but I didn't go up to the ramp. The big rampy hill because I had 0. So I went around the flatter rolling bits to kind of peek around those things, and we just started winning, and I just started shooting, and I think I aced it on that one, man. I had 2,000. I ended up with 2,000 something damage. It's probably the best game in the tank, actually. Let me see.
Bottom tier as well. So
I think it was 2,512.
I like it. I do like the Crocodile because it's very similar to the Churchill in everything you do. Well, it is a Churchill.
It is, yeah.
It just seems better. It feels better than the Churchill for some odd reason.
That might be because you're just a better player now than when you went through the Churchill. Because it's a
possibly,
copy. It's a copy paste. It's exactly a Churchill.
Maybe that is
7 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I bet you're just better. Yeah.
Yeah, way back when I was probably a 46-47% player when I had that. So yeah, maybe that is it. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and what Cliffy said there, absolutely. So I'd probably do a video on it, really. But the point of the video would be, you Yeah, you can look at the setup, you can look at the map, you can look at your tiering, all that stuff at the beginning, but you just really never know. That's why I think people keep coming back to the game as much as they do. Because
I think that's a good point. Yeah, I think it is a good point.
Because it's PvP, right? And
Yeah.
and it's tiering, and it's different maps, and it's spawn points, and all this other stuff that goes into it. Until you drive to get started, you don't really know what's going to happen. If I looked at that,
yeah, exactly that.
I'd go, I'm going to get crushed. You know, if they send the heavies up there like they should, and I'm in my stupid crocodile trying to peek around corners with 0 depression, eventually I'm going to get ganked pretty hard. You know, it's just but I'm like, whatever. I have to go up here. This is where heavies go. And while I don't subscribe to I'm too slow to go somewhere, I certainly didn't want to go down the hill and try to go up the other side way over there.
No.
And fighting in the town, I think, is useless early on. So I went where I could be, the most help to everyone. Yeah. And it just turned out that they had a Progetto, as Cliffy said, and some TDs in the back, and I just started shooting stuff.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, on a tier 6 bottom tier battle, I have 2,500 damage. Like 3 kills and an ace tanker.
Yeah. You've got to say to yourself, those days are the reasons why you go back and play it. Because I think the thing about World of Tanks, as much as it is very frustrating at times, and I've had my ups and downs with it, as we all have, but I think no 2 game is the same. You can go in with the same tank the very next battle, and it'll be totally different to the one you've just had. Even if you've, for some chance, got the same map, And so I think that's what brings people back, because it's the expectation that one day you can have a great game, you can have a great battle in this tank. So you keep pushing it, don't you? I had a similar situation yesterday. I was on my EU account. I had the Char Futur, and I got ganked by an FV within 30 seconds of the game starting, right? Absolutely. Yeah, it left me with 3 hit points. And I thought, well, I can't do nothing here.
Yeah.
I came away from that with the second highest damage of the game with 3 kills. I was running around with 3 hit points.
3 hit points,
Yeah. And you're like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, so...
it is like that, isn't it?
So I was having a pretty bad session. Not terrible, but that just absolutely turned it around, because the next battle, we lost 15-3, and I did 300 damage.
Did you? So you're like, yep, that's World of Tanks.
Oh, dude.
Great battle, a shit battle.
Don't you love that? You're like, oh, man, that was great, man. Having fun with this tank. Battle. 2 minutes later, like you said, the FV one-shots, you're like, okay.
Yeah, thanks.
That's right. I forgot I was playing World of Tanks.
Yeah.
That's a good point, Cliffy. I've talked about that before. Yeah. Sometimes when you have one of those small caliber guns that's not hurting people very much, they will tend to ignore you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing is, say like the M6, it's not a particularly big hard-hitting gun, but it's got a lot of hit points. I was in a Panther, just the tier 7 Panther, I think it was. And I was up against, but there was 2 of them. And they were obviously working together because they coordinated the shots. As I was peeking out, I was getting absolutely murdered. And because they was just so quick on the reload.
Yeah.
Just nothing I could do about it. I was like so frustrated with it. So
yeah, actually I ran into a couple. That might have been the next battle, actually. It was a Hellcat, a Panther M10, I think.
Right.
And another tank that fired fast. And I just couldn't get inside. Even as fast as this thing reloaded, I could not get inside the reload at all. Every time I poked out, I'm getting hit by something.
Yeah, it's like so frustrating, isn't it?
That's a good skill to have, actually, when you're working a corner or a spot, to understand the relative reload of the other guy's gun, and to pay attention to what your allies are doing, because if you all shoot and miss, he's going to come out and probably take a shot. But if someone's still holding a shot, sometimes you can kind of keep them honest, and they don't want to poke out.
They want to use it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is true.
So I'm doing all these tier 6s. I still got to get the Sherman done. I'm going to finish up the Crocodile and the Transition. That's got me to 50 at the level.
All right, cool.
On the first one, so that's where I am.
First chapter.
Yeah, first chapter.
Yeah.
So just about ready to finish the first
13. I'm unlucky 13 because I've been, as I say, I'm splitting the time with the EU one. I think I'm about the same on the EU. I think probably a little bit ahead, 26 or something like that.
Yeah. So you're more like 40 on one account.
Together, yeah. But that's.
I did.
Of course, like anything, Guido, I've stopped focusing on getting them finished. All I'm doing is I'm playing the game and just occasionally just check it and go, oh, look, I've got that, I've got this, I've got the other.
Right.
And another thing that I don't know how this is going to work out, to be honest, but this is another thing I've read somewhere. Somebody was doing this. I thought, I'll try that. So I didn't go for the, I didn't purchase the other part of the chapter. I can't remember what it's called now. I'll tell you what.
Improved Battle Pass?
Improved Battle Pass. I didn't purchase them because somebody had put in some chat I'd read somewhere, leave it until the last day and then change it. You get all that good stuff in a one anyway. So rather than spend out now, and unless you need that stuff, if you do need it, then fair enough. If you don't need everything they're offering, leave it till the last day and see if it's worth it. Because if you've only done 12 out, instead of you've only done one chapter, is it worth it? Maybe it is.
Well, I see what you're saying.
Got all three. You know what I mean?
I buy them as I go. If I unlock one, I buy it and go on from there.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
Fair
but yeah, that's if you don't want it,
that's
absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
You can judge at that point whether it's worth spending money on it.
So I have unlocked the tier 10. I think I played it once, maybe twice. The Czech Light. I don't know much about the tier 10. I haven't played it much. The Blesk. So I'm at. Yeah. I was actually kicking butt in this thing at like mid 60s, but I've had a bit of a bad run. It took me 41 battles to get the tier 9, and then I got to tier 9, and it took me because of the stupid blueprints. So that was the most because I had to unlock the modules, and then I got a bunch of the free experience from the boxes that Wargaming gave me. I did the video. It only took me 14 battles in the 9 to unlock the 10.
Really?
Yeah.
That is some going there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, because you had the free experience.
I had all of the blueprints, but do the blueprints not? If you have all the blueprints, does it not unlock the whole tier 10?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I've got a tier 10 waiting to be purchased.
See, I couldn't
zero. It's zero on the XP.
I couldn't figure it out because when I went, and I can't show you now what it looked like because I've unlocked it. Oh wait a minute, blueprint assembled. Well, it is now though. See, it said. Oh, that must have been. Oh, that was the blueprint for. Well, I don't know. Maybe I was looking at I must have been looking at the blueprint for the 9. Okay, that's what happened. You guys don't know what I'm talking about. Here's what I did. This is why I was confused. I bet I was on the Selma on the research because I was looking over at the tier 10 and I only needed like 50,000 experience.
Yeah.
Which meant I didn't have all of the blueprints. I had a good number of them though.
Good number of them. Okay.
And then I remember going, well, how come this? Because I'm looking at this screen. I said, how come this shows it's assembled, but I still have 50,000? Well, it's because I was looking at the one for the Selma. I hadn't gone here, so if I'd have done that, then I would have seen not the whole. Okay, that's.
Yeah, that's just what Gators just said there, and Cliffy. On my EU account, I've got a tier 10. Which is it? I think it's the French light tank. I can't remember which one it is now. There's one of the 2 French light tanks, the Batchat or the other one. And I've used the blueprint, so it's 0 XP, so I can click it any time, but it doesn't let me because I haven't researched the modules on the tier 9 previous.
You have to at least. You have to
do the line, don't you?
Right.
Yeah.
The one you don't have to have all of them, but the one that is the line to
the one that leads to the 10.
Right.
Yeah, you've got to do it. Yeah. So although I use the blueprints to make it 0 XP,
I
can't do anything about it until I've moved up the line. Yeah, got you.
Yeah. Yep. So these are Skoda T17 is good. I've got a kind of final review on the Blesk coming out next week. I'll do something on the Selma. I like this thing. The Blesk can really be played like a light tank, I think. I mean, it's got the.
So it's definitely not. Okay, yeah. I was going to say it was the feeling was with this line. It was all like medium/light.
It can certainly do that, and I'm not saying it's a great light, but I think it's serviceable. I'm not so sure on the Selma. This thing is massive. Look how big this thing is.
Yeah.
And then the Tessac is nearly as big. I mean, look, this is a fairly compact little tank. It's still fairly big for a light tank, but this thing, holy cow! There's mediums that aren't really this big.
Yeah.
But I like the gun on it because it does a bit more damage. It feels a little more meaty when it hits things, and it's got it does 12.
Yeah.
Which is twice what the tier 8s wanted, but it's got about half the shells.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's pretty. I like this thing. It's
still not very well armored or anything like that.
No.
No. There is
none. No armor.
I think no armor at all. But I did watch, and I'm not sure whether it was skill, but I did watch a video where he had it set up camo-wise that he was virtually not even behind a bush on this map. He was almost in the middle of the field. He was going for the spotting as opposed to shooting it. But so he wasn't. I don't know how he gets it to that level that you can just sit in the open and not get spotted. But anyway, and the thing is with these tanks, you've got to be so patient because he had so many opportunities to shoot.
Yeah.
He just didn't. You know what I mean? You've got to be so patient.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you're out in the open. I mean, you can play that game. You pay attention to the spotting rings, understand how good your camo is.
I think that's it. Yeah, that's where it's at.
You know, I do that. You're just dancing at the edge of the spotting.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Use the VR circles like you just said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just stay like an inch away from them.
And depending on what you think might see you, you can come pretty far inside the spotting circles and still not be seen. But of course, if you don't know where a light tank is and you know there's a spotting bush, then you don't want to come too close to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
there is definitely an art to light tank play, which is possibly, I'm going to upset people now, a higher skill level than playing any of the other types of tanks. I think playing a light is, I wouldn't call it a different skill. I think it's a higher skill level. You have to do it properly, to do it very, very well.
Yeah.
You have to have such a higher skill level than being in a great big old, heavy, lumbering your way to the heavy corner and just having a good old.
Oh, I would agree. Doing well in light tanks, if you're, and I do it all the time. I end up being in the top third or top damage in a light tank in games.
Sure.
That takes more effort. You've got to know more about the mechanics, especially the vision part of it, and pay more attention to the map so you can get to the spots you need to get to and the places you can be effective.
And understand what the enemy is capable of as well, because you've got to understand every light, possibly medium tank that could outspot you and where they are and who they are and all the rest of it.
So we had.
Artie's so hard to play. I don't bother.
Yeah, Terry, that's the pinnacle, though. I mean, I don't think we had to say it.
Yeah.
What was the map? It's the one with the. Jeez. It's Karelia, maybe, with the big swampy bit in the middle.
Sounds like Karelia.
I think it's Karelia, and the hill on one side, and
train tracks on the other.
No, not train tracks. So maybe it's not Karelia. I think anyway. We had two light tanks. I had a Selma. I was in a Selma, and we had the new German. Yeah, it's Karelia, and we had the new German LPZ thing. So those were our two light tanks.
Oh yeah.
Which I think that's a tier 8, right? I think it is. It was an 8 and 9 game. Probably, I think it was an 8, 9, and 10 game. It was an 8, 9, and 10 because, so they had the LPZ thing, or we had the LPZ, which was our tier 8. I had a Soma. They had a G-SOR for the 9 and an ELC even 90 for the 8.
Of course they did. Yes, of course they did.
So they had the stealth lights, and we had the kind of combat, lights, and we just got ate up because we could not dig them out of all those middle bushes in the swampy bit. Then next thing I know, both of them are across it right in our faces, and the LPZ died early because he kind of went up on one of the edges and peeked a bush and got immediately seen and vaporized. I lasted longer, but we were just losing map, and plus they got the hill. So to make matters worse, everyone's camping back as well, so that didn't help. But
no.
that I had no way to put eyes. The only way I was going to do it is to YOLO in and hope we got them both dead.
Killed. Yeah.
But I didn't have to because they eventually showed up at our edge, lit me, and then it was a proxy light, so I did kill the G-Sor, but I couldn't. And the ELC, though, I found him too because I'm just running now. I ran into him.
Yeah.
But I died before I could kill him, and by then...
That's the fatalistic way of playing a light tank, isn't it? When you know all is lost, you just head for where the enemy is.
Well, I didn't want to do that. I was in the bushes trying to find them if I could somehow make them make a mistake, and the G-Sor just drove up on me and proxy lit himself. And when I had to run because we were crossfired from everywhere. I'm like, well, I'm probably not going to make this, but I'll just start moving and make it harder for him. And I ran into the ELC even 90 by luck, but we didn't get him dead before I died. We'd lost half our tanks by then anyway, and we had no map control, and we ended up dying. That's right, Grendel. Yeah, you do your best. I mean, that was my plan. I was like, all right, I can't get into those bushes, but I can hang out at the edges where some of the rocks and stuff are, and maybe if they make a mistake. And the G-Sor did. He sort of got too close, and not sort of, he did get too close and got proxy lit. But by then, the jig was up. It was over.
Yeah. You didn't have the support behind you to get rid of it.
And we didn't have the tanks to do it anyway. Everyone was dead.
Yeah.
So interesting line. Interesting line. There's some news potentially on tanks as well. On new tanks, we'll talk about that a little bit later. And I don't know what it's going to be either, so it's going to be interesting. Yesterday, had Molly in the Bless because the only light opposite was even 90. Yeah. There you go. Oh, Malinovka against an ELC. Awesome. Yeah, it's what I think it's Grendel. Yeah, it's what Grendel said. You just hope that they make a mistake or they suck. You know?
Yeah. I would love to come across an ELC player that had no camo or was a 32% player or something. That would be fun. But you never do you? You never ever come across an ELC.
I hate running into Sheridans, man. I hate running into Sheridans.
Oh yeah, I do.
Because they're brutal.
They are brutal. They're big guns on them. People don't realise they've got big guns.
Yep. Yeah, they're brutal. All right. What else? I think that's it for channel news. Still playing some Panzer Corps 2. Still doing some DCS. We'll be flying tomorrow. I didn't say hello to O'Brute. Hello, O'Brute. Forgot about you, man. What did he say?
Grendel's thing. Not Grendel. Somebody thought there was something wrong with the Twitch stream. Grumpy was saying it keeps freezing up. Other people are saying they're not.
Yeah, it might be you, man, because I'm looking at it, looking good from my side. So I don't know. I just noticed way back up there when O'Brute said you learned that safety gas cans are. I know it, man. So in the States, they're Pilgrim. We have many stupid laws, much like every country does. One in particular though is that the government has got crazy about exactly how a gas can spout can be designed. Like somehow the government is to stop spilling and all these other ideas, right?
Right.
You should see the insane designs that have developed over time of these gas cans with these ridiculous spouts.
Man. So we're talking the Puckagen green gas cans.
Yeah, ours are generally red, usually red.
Or red or
plastic.
Or
if you have a plastic one, but I know, like a plastic jerry can, but.
Got you. Yeah.
And he's right though, because the ones I have, I bought like 4 or 5. This is now 6 years ago.
And this is just with a screw-on nozzle that you.
Yeah, generally it flips around and then it's stored inside of it, and you unscrew it and then flip it around and then put it back on. But it used to be you just have a flexible nozzle, right? Or just a plastic open nozzle and you do your thing.
That's what I've got. That's what I've got. Sat there, yeah.
But now the ones that I have are some of the early crappy versions, and it's got this little, I don't know, the spout's like that, and then at the end of it's got this like piece of plastic. So when you put the spout in, the piece of plastic pushes back and it's spring loaded, and then it opens up the nozzle.
Really?
Yeah, but when you've got 10 pounds of gas, 20 pounds of gas, whatever 5 gallons weighs, which is pretty damn heavy, and now you're trying to tip it.
Yeah.
You're trying to get it into the spout, and then you have to catch that little guy on the edge of the spout, and then push back. So you're pushing, and
oh man,
it makes me want to kick a puppy.
I think Sergeant, it does, doesn't it? Sergeant Major Rock has the answer. Just take the sodding nozzle off and just use a funnel.
I have an even better one, Sergeant Major, and you guys got to get one of these things, man. So you just go on Amazon. It's a electric sump, like a portable electric sump pump, and it's a piece of plastic tube, and at the bottom it's got the pump, and then batteries are up at the top, a couple AA's, and they're usually about yay long.
Right.
Just enough to stick into the bottom of one of those 5-gallon guys.
Yeah.
And then it comes up, and it's got a plastic tube at the other side, and you turn that thing on, and it sucks it up and goes and puts it right through the tube. No more.
No more messing with that.
Yeah.
That little mousetrap thing.
I have used that.
That you've got colour-coded cans.
Yeah.
Seriously, you've got. It says. When did I read that? It said, red for gas.
Yeah.
Yellow for diesel, and Grendel said blue for electricity.
I have blue ones. I used to, because we also have a lot of ethanol in our gas, but you can get gas, non-ethanol gas that doesn't have any ethanol in it, because ethanol will tear up. We do a lot of gas-powered yard tools in the States, as opposed to just electric. So mowers and weed eaters and all that, blowers and stuff. And that stuff will tear up your plastic and your rubber fittings and all that stuff. Yeah. So I go get the non-ethanol stuff for all my yard stuff. So I got blue ones because I thought I would go ethanol, non-ethanol, but now I just put a marker on it now and write what's currently in it.
Yeah.
That's another thing I learned is put dates on it. It's something I didn't do for the longest time, and I don't know why. And I saw it on a YouTube channel. One of the guys was doing a mechanic channel. He was doing something, and he got his gas and he wrote down the day he got it on his can. I'm like, well, why haven't I been doing that? Then I know when I bought the damn gas, and in 3 or 4 months, if you haven't used it, put it in your car.
Yeah.
And you can get new gas, because sometimes I'd be like, shit, when did I get that? And it could be 2 or 3 year old gas, and it's worthless at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Used to fill at the airport with Avgas.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. We've only been at about 50 minutes, but I need to take a break. Biological, you know what I mean?
Well, yes, of course.
And I'm out of coffee, so that's no good.
Well, that's no good. But
all right.
I'm out of tea, so we need to go ahead.
5 minutes, fellas. Be right back.
A mysterious chap who spoke in a tongue with strange dialect. He offered his help to the mighty Guido to bring some laughter to his love of speedos. To the coffee talk they both came, to bring the message of winning ways to all and sundry and the masses. Yes, that's right, lads and lasses. The damage counts, and flexing back will keep you on the right track. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. So in what, if you want to progress, then seek out Guido nonetheless. With his sidekick Pilgrim, he has a message that to win you must be aggressive. The position and place that you must seek. For the winners only, not the weak. The guru speaks, so listen well. His voice rings out like the Liberty Bell to bring you all to Unicom land, or to die hard trying in the sand. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. To the swamplands came the mountain man to teach his wisdom and pay his due. A man with a name only known to a few. To his followers his words are true. Guido is the man, big and gruff. He used to fly jets, but now he does the tanking stuff. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. The mountains are home where he watches the moose and hummingbirds aplenty. But he saw the need for the Wat community to have a guru and lead them gently. Down the road to Unicom land will die, trying hard in the sand. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. So he broadcast his message far and wide, using YouTube, Twitch, and various means to lead you to the promised land of WR. Win 8 and damage counts. That a mortal man is only stuff of dreams. Win your flank and then go back, was his mantra for the pack, to which they shouted, "Yes, boss man, that we will. Win our flank and then flex back." Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Guido. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Now in the shadows came a mysterious chap who spoke in a tongue with strange dialect. He offered his help to the mighty Guido to bring some laughter to his love of speedos. To the coffee talk they both came to bring the message of winning ways to all and sundry and the masses. Yes, that's right, lads and lasses. The damage counts and flexing back will keep you on the right track. Guido is his name, tanking is his game.
All right, guys, we're back. Last night was Oktoberfest downtown.
Oh, check you out. Yeah.
And it's possible I fested a little too much last night.
No, I can't believe that of you whatsoever. Man who doesn't drink. There you go. Yet to meet a person from Florida who doesn't like Oktoberfest.
That's right. Oh my goodness. Anywho, hee-haw. Ain't no overfesting.
There ain't no overfesting, no, you're true.
Jimmy, man, I watched the end of that game. I was festing before. We were keeping track of it, and then we got some friends who have a restaurant. They were close. This is how you know you fested too much. Your friend invites you into the restaurant as they're closing. It's because you got to have another drink.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, that was a great idea. What a great idea that was. But they were making.
You can't turn down an invitation from a friend.
I didn't, and they were feeding the staff pizzas, and because they got a stone-fired pizza oven now that they fired back up. And
nice, yeah.
So I had some late night pizza.
I think
in
awesome.
All
the pizzas in all the world, I think a stone-fired pizza has got to be at the top. Really has to be at the top, doesn't it?
I got a buddy here down the street that has he has like the Ferrari of little wood-fired pizzas.
Yeah.
That they bought from Italy and they shipped it. I mean, it's big. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a big. It's not industrial size, but it's big. And he does steaks and pizzas, and he gets his flour from Italy. And he every now and again, we go over there and it's B Word, by the way. B Word has that, so we call it B Word-a-palooza. So
I'm so looking forward to coming across for a stone baked pizza, not to see you, but just for a stone baked pizza.
Oh man, we got shrimp, we got pizza. I got people with pizza. We'll hook you up.
I'm going to combine. I think what I'm going to do. We have talked about this. I mean, we haven't talked tanks, and we've been on an hour.
I know. We talked a little bit.
I think I'm going to come across. I'm going to more than likely climb Denali at the same period as coming down to see you. So I'll go up to Alaska, do Denali, and then take a flight down if I survive Denali, and come and say hi to you and the good people of Florida.
There you go.
So yeah, but that won't be until 2030 if I'm still knocking around. So there you go. Something to look forward to.
Speaking of that, next week's coffee talk is I don't know right now because I may actually have to fly to Alaska. I've got a family member that's very poorly, so I kind of need to go see them before I can't.
You need
so
to do that.
Yeah, so that may happen this coming weekend. So
okay, mate.
if we don't, I'll let you know. And if we don't come up on Sunday, guys, I'm going to apologize right now, but got to do what you got to do.
Exactly. So we're moving on to Everest then. We're not doing tanks today.
Yeah, just.
Are we? Yes, I've seen some interesting body recovery YouTube videos. I don't tend to watch too many because I might be one of them. So I'm like, well, I don't really know, really.
Yeah. This one's called Pilgrim Sickle.
Yes.
Well, you're not going to climb up. You're not actually going to do Everest.
No, we're only going to base camp. I'm not doing Everest, man. It's the only thing that's put me off it. To be honest, I'll be very honest, blunt with you guys, is that it's the cost. You've got to spend $20,000 to climb the mountain.
Yeah.
Which is insane amount of money.
Yeah.
Really, And I did think about doing it solo, but when I spoke to the experts, they went, I don't think so. You can't do it solo. Not in a million years. I mean, I'm not Edmund Hillary or Sherpa Tenzing, am I? So I ain't gonna do it solo. So yeah. God. Green boots, yeah, Jimmy, green boots.
Didn't they take green boots down though?
He's down now, yeah, they took him down again. Yeah. There was a girl, I think she was an American or a Canadian. She was the halfway marker for a long time. They've taken her down now. Can't think of her name. But,
God, that's just crazy to me. Like you put yourself in that situation.
Yeah.
And then people can't do anything because they'll be in the situation too.
Exactly, because you can probably carry, I would say, maximum of 7 bottles of oxygen, or your Sherpa and you can carry 7 bottles of oxygen each. The 7 bottles will get you to the peak and back. But anything more, if you're in the dead zone, you don't have enough oxygen to be able to do anything. So you just got to leave people, leave them there and walk off. You know, best friend, whatever. I mean, I've got 2 brothers doing the 3 Peak Challenge with me at the moment. And one of them said, well, if it was me, I'd go for my brother. I said, well, that'll be 2 if you're dead then. It's as simple as that. There's no 2 ways about it. You can't save anybody in the dead zone. Unless you specifically go and do the climb to take that person out of the dead zone. Then if you're on that particular mission, you're climbing to do the peak with your friends, and one of them goes down, you've got to leave them, because otherwise you've got 5 people dead.
Makes you wonder if, because of the Sherpas that go up and down, it makes you wonder if maybe there's a possibility. Like, you could do this. You could build way stations with oxygen stored there.
Oh, yeah, you could do, couldn't you? Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, they've got 4 base stations. So you've got EBC, Everest Base Camp, 18,000 feet. Then you've got Base Camp 2, 3, and 4. And 4 is the Summit Base Camp.
Yeah.
So there is base camps. And the dead zone is at 26,000 feet. I want to say 26,000 feet plus. So anything above 26,000 feet, why couldn't you have oxygen stored somewhere? But I don't know. Maybe the Nepal government don't.
Maybe that. Well, yeah, but maybe the logistics of that are just too hard. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe.
I suppose to some extent making it easier for more people to go up there is probably not on their list of things to do.
No, as I said to you before, I think I've said it before, they issued 428 licenses to climb Everest last year. Well, if you think there's a 2 Sherpa per climber rule, you're now talking 1,000 people have gone to Everest last year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just mental, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. All right. Actually, it's come to my attention that occasionally, so my son is in college, and he's in a frat. I'm just going to leave it there. I'm not going to name drop or anything, but somehow he told some of his brothers about my YouTube stuff, and some of them have actually subscribed, and some of them have actually watched us do this Sunday thing. So anyway, shout out to you guys. You know who you are. If you happen to watch this, appreciate the views and all that stuff. Hope you guys are having a good time in college. But thanks, man. That's awesome.
Keep it going. Keep the alcohol flowing. You'll learn a lot better.
They're good kids. We were out there 2 weekends ago and went to one of their tailgates, which was awesome.
Cool.
It's fun watching them. They're having, they're living their best life doing that stuff,
Well, you can look back and remember those days. That's the thing. You know what I mean? So you sort of know where they're at with it, although, as the years change, as the generations change. But the basics of that life is the same the world over.
Yeah.
Western world over, anyway,
Yeah.
University, college life is it's a passage of rite or something like that. You know what I mean? It's getting to adulthood, but having a cracking time getting there, isn't it? Absolutely.
I think it's part of getting out there. All the BS, the self-discovery, the learning,
sure is
figure out life and all that stuff it's important, because you're not going to do that generally hanging out in your mom's basement.
Nope. Well, you're not going to meet girls anyway. Put it that way. Which is what college is all about, isn't it?
I mean, on the other hand,
that's it. Boozing chicks. There you go, Jimmy.
on the other hand, if you're living at home, you get a job, you eventually move out. That's all good too. It's whatever.
Oh yeah.
However you're going to do it. But I guess the point is, at some point when you leave the home, that process has to happen.
Yeah.
There
has to be that passage of rite. There has to be that. I'm no longer a child, I'm now an adult. And however that happens, whether you go to college or whether you get a job and move out, whatever, it's that, it's the fear of that independence, I think, is what drives people to get crazy about it all. Is that when you move out of your parents' home, It's a massive step. Thinking about it, it's a massive step. If you think back, I mean, I didn't have that because I joined the army very early. So I went from one family home to another, if you like. So I never had that stepping out on my own in the big wide world. I mean, I did it when I left the army. That was shit, I can tell you. So I quite admire those kids that go off and do college and do university and become grown-ups in their own way. And I admire those who just go and find an apprenticeship or just walk out and go and that's it, I'm moving out, I'm doing it. Because I would have been like, no way can I do that. You know what I mean?
Ideally, Gator. Ideally, that's not who's holding your feet. That would be a little weird. Yeah, the economics are not great, Cliffy. But I think I think that's a little overblown. And I say a little. I'm not denying that it's an issue because the economics for everybody is crap. It's just that if you've got a little bit, you're able to withstand it. If you're starting, it is difficult. My daughter's rent. So I'll use my example because she's in a I wouldn't call it fancy or super nice, but she's in a good apartment because we didn't want her in a cheaper apartment because they're not in great places in the town.
No, not for a young girl on her own anyway.
That being said, they exist.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's paying like $1,600 a month for rent, and that's half.
Big load of money.
That's half of her take-home pay. Half.
Wow.
It's slightly less than half, but it's in the high 40% of her take-home pay, and you know because she's now paying for her own medical insurance. She's paying. Yeah. She is investing in her 401k because the company has matching. So those are to me those are mandatory costs out the door. She has to pay for electricity. The city, actually, it's weird because Tallahassee, the city actually does electricity and the water. It's very strange, but
they put the utilities together.
Yeah, and the city owns them somehow. It's very strange.
Right, okay.
I've never seen that before, but there you go. I think they buy the electricity from FPL, Florida Power and Light, or so. I don't know how they're doing it, but it's very strange. But what they're doing is they're skimming money off the top of it.
I was just starting to say they'll obviously increase the cost. Because you could get direct from a supplier, couldn't you? Yeah, that's bad, isn't it?
So the city has somehow created a power company. A lot of power companies do this. They buy the energy from other sources that create the energy. That's how the whole system works. But anyway, the city of Tallahassee has done that. So yeah, Grendel's saying $2,500 a month. That's insane. But
it's insane.
So my point here is, and the overblown part is, people are like, oh, I can't afford to live. I'm like, you can. What you don't want to do is you don't want to live where you can. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't get a job there. I'm like, well, you can. You just don't want that job. So, but we have to make those choices. And I'm not saying people just, I just moved from where I live because Guido says I can make enough money somewhere else. That's not necessarily what I'm saying.
No.
But there's some things that people buy and do these days that they don't necessarily have to. You know.
Yeah. Well, it's the whole expectation of a level of living, isn't it? We provided our kids quite a comfortable level of living, as we always do. You sacrifice everything for your kids, so they're used to a level of living. It's hard for them to drop down a little bit, unless they're sensible and they understand it. You know.
Yeah. So
it's hard for them to go, well, actually, I can't have internet at the fastest speed 24 hours a day. You know, I've got to have something less, or I can't have the latest iPhone anymore. I've got to get.
You may have to have an iPhone for 3 or 4 years, right? You're not going to get it. You may have to just do that. You may not be able to go to Starbucks, or you may have to buy some Folgers cans and get a percolator and make your own damn coffee.
Yeah.
You know, and again, people get mad. Like, oh, well, you can't. That doesn't fix everything, right? Yeah, but it fixes part of it. It's a mindset. Sure. You know, you have to. Sometimes you have to sacrifice. You're not going to be able to do all this shit.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
But
actually, Gator makes a good point there about a retirement plan. If I'd had my time again, and again, I put this down to the fact that the adults in my time never educated us about this sort of thing. But I would have started a retirement plan the day I was earning, the first day I was earning. I didn't start my retirement plan until I left the army, which is crazy.
Oh, wow.
I've just given up nearly 30. Well, although I've got a military pension.
Yeah.
My retirement plan started when I was 45.
Holy cow! Yeah, that is late. Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And because I never got that information at the age of 18, 17. Nobody said to me, "Listen, son, you need to do this." You know what I mean? And this is for your future because, well, first of all, at that age, I would have gone, "Oh, shut up! I've got years yet."
Yeah.
And then, secondly, nobody actually told me that, and it's only after serving with the military for so long, and other people had it. And I was thinking, "What is that?" A retirement plan. I mean, I've got a military pension. I won't need that. But now I can see the benefit of it because, all right, I've got, I want to say nearly 20 years now. I've got 15, 16, 17 years
Yeah.
of a pension plan. I can now see the benefits of why I should have started that 50 years ago. You know what I mean? Or 40 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
I got started late. I was probably 5 or 6 years into the military before I started mine.
Well, nobody tells you, though, do they?
Yeah. Yeah, so because I was married once before was divorced. That 3 or 4 years start and then stop thing that sort of crushes your your finances, and then had to start over and all that stuff.
Cash goes out the window.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
The trouble.
But yeah, 100%. I was watching people around me do it, and there's a lot of there's not a lot. There are companies out there that are very forward with military, trying to sell them financial products, especially early. They want to get you in on this, and some of them are these like in the States, they're like insurance investment products that are kind of shit.
Tied to house purchases and all that.
Well, there's that too, but there's a company. I'm not going to flame them or anything, and maybe there's some people who like the company here, possibly invest with them or whatever. But the whole insurance investment thing, I never floated.
It never floated my boat.
No.
We used to have, like you said, people come around the army quarters, knock on the door. I'm here to sell you a mortgage insurance policy that'll give you X in 25 years' time.
Right.
And the house will be paid for.
Yeah.
And you're like, but it's going to cost you $300 a month, and you're thinking, I don't want to spend $300 a month on some dodgy geezer who comes to my door. No, I'm not doing that.
So I just bought some mutual funds. I just did it on my own, and I wish I was better at it because I've got friends that started right when they got started, and they came from families who knew about that stuff.
That's it.
And maybe they even got a little boost from their parents, which is what I'm doing for my kids.
Yeah.
Here's 10, here's 20, here's 30 grand, whatever. They could do and kind of get them rolling and started, and you turn that into a lifestyle, like it's just something you do. And these guys, they're living out on the water and they got the big boat. I'm doing fine, but they're doing more than fine.
Yeah. You know what? We'll get back to tanks. Don't worry, everybody. But one of the things that absolutely made my jaw hit the ground when I was out in Germany, I used to, on the side, work for a motorcycle dealer, a Brit guy who was in the UK, in Germany, but he would sell tax-free vehicles to the military. And I used to, just to keep my hand in on the motorcycle side, and he used to sponsor me for my racing. So he was a good guy. I mean, he was a lovely fella. For a car / motorbike salesman, he was a lovely fella. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And his name was Dave Ward. He won't mind me naming if he ever watches this. But he sat me down one day because I said, "How do you make this pay? This because you're buying these vehicles in, and then you're selling them, and I get the tax free." And I said, "But how do you make?" He went, and he opened up his bank account. He went, "Have a look at the bottom figure there," and there was £2.5 million in his bank account, and he had the same amount of stock in warehouses all over the place. He said, "I've built it up over the years." He said, "It's there. That's it. That's my retirement plan."
Yeah.
And I was like, jaw hit the floor.
Yeah.
I mean, he now lives in New Zealand. He emigrated to New Zealand, living the life. He doesn't. He's not. He was 14 years old when he retired.
It's like the guys are saying in chat. You front load the being frugal and careful, and then if all goes well.
Yeah.
So I sort of took a kind of middle path, to be quite honest. I have done a bit of investing, and I have saved money, but I've also spent money along the way because, my wife's family's in England and my family's in Utah. So we've done a fair bit of traveling, and that costs money with 4 people going across the pond every couple of years and flying from Florida to Utah. So I've, and we're about to actually do a remodel of the house. We're figuring out we're going to do this remodel. This is kind of the forever house, so we're just going to upgrade some stuff.
Well, your kids are gone. Well, I know they're gone, but they're moving on, aren't they? So you do what you do.
Yeah, so I've sort of taken a middle road. I have a decent amount socked away. I've got my military retirement. I'm going to have a little bit of a civilian retirement, which is hilarious. You can double dip, but there you go. Yeah. And provided the government doesn't collapse, which it might,
Yeah.
But
that's my. I was going to say to you, I've got that civilian pension plan. Well, when it kicks in, that's going to fund my whole Everest trip and the Denali trip, because there's no way I'm going to leave it there and then dribble it out month by month. I'm taking the whole lot out because I'm not letting the tax man have a single cent more than what he's entitled to. I tell you, I'm going to blow it all on Everest and Denali and Florida. There you go.
Good. Okay, there you go. That's one way to do it. That's one way.
Yep.
Yeah, Tack Crows. That that becomes the calculus as you hit. Now you said 54. That's pretty early, and good on you if you can do that. I think for most people with a plan, it's like you start to hit that 60-year-old thing. In the States, we have Social Security, and I can't remember all the rules, but somewhere around 62, I believe. You can actually start earlier, I think, but 62 to 67 is kind of the range where people will think about actual retirement. But you got to think about, God, 67, man. You're 3 years away from 70. How much,
Well, you see, age is just a number, because this is the point I was trying to make to the lads that I've got together. I've got a small team together now for this Everest thing. And they're going, well, how old are you? I said, I'll be 66 when I do it. Yeah. But it's just a number. Because my body at the moment, touch wood, God forbid, is I'm able to still train, and my mind is still fit. So I don't care what the number is. I mean, when I'm 66, I might be a gibbeting wreck, but who knows?
Yeah.
It's another 3 years away, 4 years away, whatever. You know what I mean? So, but it's a number. So as long as I'm able to get off my backside and do stuff, I'm going to do it. If I'm 75 and drop dead, I've had a good life. Who cares? You know
right. I mean?
Yep.
All right. Cool. Well, that's
there you go.
That's how you retire, according to Guido and Pilgrim. I think the takeaway from that for all you young folks out there, that there are none that are watching this, but if there were, is get started with something. You know what I mean?
Something.
Started with something.
Exactly. And that's for all the kids in your son's college who are watching this right
now. I think most of that. I think most kids at those colleges, a good number of those kids at those colleges have parents that kind of understand that. That's sort of a middle class, upper middle class sort of idea now.
Thing to do with it. Yeah, absolutely.
But if you don't know that for whatever reason, get started when your first job.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. Anyway, where were we? Tanks. Anyway.
Specials. Let's chill.
Specials. Let's get the. Have you still got that slow battery nullified thing of yours? Have you?
Wow. It's only
if it was a police car, you wouldn't be scared because you think it'd never catch me going that speed.
Yeah. It means I'm driving away from you at light speed.
Yeah.
I guess that would be red shift.
Doppler effect.
All right, fellas. Actually, what we're going to do here is this.
Oh, look at you.
Oh, yeah. Giving $5
away. Get
right.
in the raffle, everybody. Even
giving
if you don't play tanks, get in the
raffle. Away. All right. Good luck. Good luck with that.
Cool. Is that what they're called? Is that what the...
I don't know.
Lunar boxes, are
I thought I checked. Oh, well. They're 5 boxes. They're not lunar boxes.
There you go.
I changed that. Why did that not change?
I looked at it again. I'm like, lunar? We're not Christmas yet.
How did...
What you like? Oh,
that's weird, because it says 5 Waffentrager here.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, so it, for whatever reason, it just went with the old one.
It just hates you. It just hates you. It wants to do Christmas.
That's weird. All right. So...
Not 50, Jimmy.
5. It's only 5.
5. He says 50.
Simmer down.
Wayne will win. Yeah, Wayne will win. As he does all the time.
Let's see what's going on. I gotta figure. There we go. Premium shop. Honestly, guys, it's boxes or nothing at this point.
Yeah.
So we've got the $5 for 5 kind of idea. Goes up to 150 for $1 for 127.46.
Yeah.
You actually automatically get some keys with that.
Here's a question for you, Guido. If you hadn't been given the boxes to open by Wargaming, would you have bought any? And if so, how many would you have bought?
No, 0.
Good answer. Good
But-
answer.
But I did the math, and I forgot to do it on the video that you guys watched. It would have cost me $127, and I got about $226 of value. So, but that was converting, buying silver with gold,
Yeah.
and converting the XP with gold to free XP, right? So that kind
Okay.
of backwards math to figure out
Yeah.
what the gold value of these various things are. That did
Right.
not count things like the personal reserves. I didn't put any value on those. So theoretically, those were worth a little bit more. But with the premiums, the gold, and the... did I not... What did I do with the premiums? I think I just made the premiums...
Because you would have had all the premiums anyway, wouldn't you?
I don't know if I put the premiums on that cost. I might have forgot to put the premiums on it because it was 15,000 gold right off the bat because I didn't do any re-rolls.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I did. Maybe I did the premium. Did I just? I might have just
Because
done
what
like.
we're talking, $30, $35 per premium,
Yeah.
maybe.
For some reason, I think I called the premiums $20 each, but I don't remember why I got to that. Anyway, it was more than 127.
Right.
Right. If
Right.
you just go with the gold and the 3 premiums,
Yeah.
60, you're pretty close to $127.
Okay. All right.
And never mind the silver, the free experience, and all the other doodads. And we
But that you would have to hit the 3 premiums, wouldn't you, for that to be beneficial?
you're gonna get okay. Yeah,
'cause you could get one of the other premiums, couldn't you?
You could, but they're still worth something too.
They are. Yeah, they are. If you haven't bought them already, why would you want to win them? That's the point.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's one in there you like. You just haven't had the money or whatever.
Okay.
But
yeah.
with 150 boxes, you are getting 3 premiums. Period. Dot. Even if you have all the other ones, there are 3 new ones.
Yeah.
Now, one's a copy pasta, but you are getting 3 premiums with 150 boxes. Period. That's happening because of the pity mechanic.
Yeah.
I don't think there's 60 in gold, Gator, because there's only 15,000. Well, what is 15,000 gold worth? See, now the math is bouncing inside my, admittedly, this morning, fuzzy cranium.
Yes, well, we were out last night on Oktoberfest, weren't you?
Is it $60? Maybe it is. All right, he is completely correct, and I'm completely wrong. 63.25. All right, correct. So yes, 63.25. Nope, you're right, Gator.
$60 in 3 premiums.
Yep. So $60, and then another. I think I just did $20 per premium, which they're not. They're actually more expensive than that. One of them's a tier 9, so they sell those for 50. I think 40 or 50.
Yeah.
So I think.
But what we're saying is $127. You get your money's worth back at least.
Just with the gold and the premiums
Just
that
with
you're
the
the 3
gold.
premiums you're getting, I think you
Yeah.
have got your money's worth of 127,
Yeah.
and then you pile on all the other stuff. And for me, it came out to $220, $240, something like that.
Okay.
Right.
You see, I didn't get any boxes this year, purely because, and I spoke to you before we came on air. I don't want those other premium tanks, not the new ones. I definitely want those, But the other premium tanks, if I wanted them, I would have bought them by now. And I don't really want to get $150 worth of boxes to end up winning them instead of winning the new ones.
Right.
Because that's how it could pan out, couldn't it?
Yeah, and that's that. Yeah, that's the bummer right there.
Yeah. I don't suppose there's many people like me, but there might be a lot of people like me who go, well, I don't want an ISU 22122, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I don't want the old tanks. It only works, in my mind, it only works if I had all of those premiums anyway, and I would definitely then get the 3 new ones.
And that's that's one of the things, if you're a CCCA, all that kind of stuff, is generally you have all that stuff because wargaming over the years, especially if you've been doing it for any amount of time. So I can show you 150 boxes, and I'm going to show you me getting the 3 cool new tanks. But like you said, if accounts are different, you may not have all those tanks. So your chance of getting the cool new tanks decreases for every one of those you don't have.
Yeah.
So, all right. What else? So Waffentrager featured the Mutants for sale again. This tank they would never sell. Remember when they promised everyone they wouldn't sell that because it was a tank that came with. I remember.
Oh dear, I remember.
Yeah. What's that commercial? Something Remembers. What's the company in the United States? Something Remembers. What is that, guys? Can't think of it. It's just boxes. You know what I mean? There's nothing else going on here. We still sell. Okay, so we still have Styles broken out. All right, that's a new feature then to the store. Good on them. Pepperidge Farm remembers. That's right. Yeah, the E25. They're not going to sell that either again until they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's really nothing.
What was that other one that was a Scarab? And I think it wasn't the. Was it the? Yeah, it was the E20. Sorry, it was the.
Yeah, E25.
Yeah. I remember seeing some guy who got himself banned by Wargaming for whatever reason. He was on the forums, but he had something like 50,000 battles in the E25. Do you remember him?
Purple guy.
Proper. Yeah.
Purple guy.
Weirdo.
Yeah, purple guy. Yeah.
Yeah. And he just had an insane amount of battles in the E25. Yeah.
He was really good at it too.
He was good at it.
He was a strange cat.
Political. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a lot of different things. Yeah, you got banned. So there's not much going on missions wise, guys. It's just your battle pass, and that's it. So that's all.
There's still, I mean, saying that with the battle pass and the Waffentrager event, for a free to play player, there's still quite a lot to get. Goodies wise, however you want to term it. We're not talking lots of gold here or tanks, but all the little odds and sods that just help a free to play account roll along without having to throw money at it. So I mean, on my EU account, I sort of like these sort of things because it gives me all those little extra bits and pieces that otherwise I would have to put money into.
Plus,
after
a whole battle pass, you're gonna have enough tokens to get a tank somewhere in there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Now, it certainly helps to buy the other one because you're gonna get. I think there's other coin. Yeah, there's more coins you can get or tokens or whatever. Yeah, there's a lot of doodads. There's nothing wrong with battle pass. I mean, you just get it by playing. Even if you're free to play, you're gonna get some of the battle pass, so it all works out nicely.
Yeah.
That's the guy. That's right.
That's him. That's it.
Yeah.
You're right, Attack Crows as well.
He was way into a really bizarre anime that was very creepy.
Yeah. There was a lot wrong with that guy. Put it that way.
Yeah.
I remember on the forums. I think there was also, without going too deep into it, I think there was also some about Nazis and all the rest of it, but we won't go there.
Well, that's what got him banned, I think, because there was some silliness going on with that. Although he should have been banned 42 times, but...
Yeah. Gator racked him. Gator Hammer racked him once. Brilliant.
Very strange individual. All right. I guess we're on to subjects du jour, my friends. Yeah. Actually, are we ready to find out who won?
Yeah, well, that would be cool. Yeah.
It should be closed, yeah?
It doesn't say closed yet. I didn't read it. Still ongoing according to Streamlabs.
Okay. Just closed.
It is rigged.
Where does it?
Cliffy's winning.
No longer. There it is. All right, here we go.
Winged it.
Here comes the winner. We have 15 people in. Who gets it? It is 3, 2, 1. Wait for it. I'm just kidding. Here we go. Mr. Davey of WPG. Definitely rigged. All right, Mr. Davey, can you whisper or type if you don't care your in-game name for World of Tanks? That's what I need, so I can send this to you. So, and make sure if it's got weird symbols or you're using an I for an L or whatever, you let me know if it's got some kind of strange spelling.
Cool.
So either whisper that in Twitch or send me or put it right here on the reroll. He's dual boxing. All right. What else? Oh, yeah. Now we're on to, while we wait for that. Yes.
Yeah.
Buy myself 5 boxes.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Well, you have to be present to win. Let's give it a few potatoes and I can re-roll it.
Give it to the other Winnipeg guy. Yeah, why not?
So we talked Waffentrager box results.
We did.
While we await that situation, because I don't think he's here, fellas.
I'll just check the names.
Is he showing up?
No, he's not showing up on the name. He might have gone.
Well, if he shows up, I'll give him 5 boxes. We are going to pick a winner again, though. All right, you ready, guys? Here we go. You found him in the game? That's all right. We'll get another one here. Boom. Grendel.
That is rigged. That is
Grendel wins.
rigged.
All right. What's your in-game name, man? I think it's Grendel, isn't it?
This is rugged.
It's definitely rugged. We've rugged it. Rugged. All right. Let's go over here. So, some things. Here's some things coming up, fellas. Get to where you can see it. There we go. We have. So there's rumors of an actual tank marathon, like old school. Oh, that's you. Okay, Grendel. I didn't realize that.
Old school.
I know you've told me that 100 times. I just forget. Let me sort that out, fellas. Get that to IQQ. Let's go over here.
Take care, Brute.
See you, man. All right, brother. We'll see you tomorrow. All right, 5 boxes, 2 gift. I guess I should have checked I can do a gift, but I can. That's good. So I_ for you. Boom. Boom. QQ for you. Purchase gift. 5 boxes. Out it goes. Hopefully that's still linked. It's thinking. Thank you. All right, brother. Sent. Let me know. Let us know if you get your client open. Let us know what you got. Otherwise, good luck. All right. So a no kidding tank marathon.
For what? For which tank?
I don't know. But like the old school one, the grindy one.
I like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I do like that. I know a lot of people didn't really get on with that sort of, but the grindy thing, I think it's fun. I think it really is fun.
Yeah. Let us know what you got, man. Let's see. Halloween event, so something other than Waffentrager. We're going to talk about 1.26.1 because it's got something kind of interesting coming, potentially. At least in the what's that test version of the game called? It's not Arcade Cabinet, but the we'll get to it. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, the test server.
1.27 at some point. Maneuvers 2024, don't know what that is. Well-deserved reward, that's getting into Christmas and the birthdays and all that stuff. Recon mode, thank you, Jimmy. Recon mode.
Thank you.
There's a New Year's Offensive 2025, so I guess that's the Christmas event.
Yeah.
Release of a new and unique fun mode in arcade for the first time in many years. I don't understand what that means. New and unique, but it's something... I don't know what that means exactly. It sounded to me like they meant some cool modes coming back, but then it says new and unique, so unknown. A new nation in the game. What do you think it is, guys?
Crikey. Korean?
Oh, you got a WTE rental? Nice. That's actually the hardest thing to get out of them, theoretically. It's only 1%. It's too bad you didn't
that's
get...
good. Out of 5 boxes.
Yeah. It's too bad he didn't get a tank. All right. What country do you think it is? Brazil or Peru? Really?
No.
I got 3 of them, but you'll never play. Yeah, I have 40. I think I hit it twice. I have 40 games, but I haven't touched the WT. I did get eliminated by one though yesterday. That was fun.
Yeah.
In fact, it was my first. Might have been my first TSAC game. I think we were on El Haluf. No, not El Haluf. What's the other one? The other desert one.
Well, he just clipped you straight out.
Well, it's the one. What's the one with the corner? With the corner brawl, that's the desert one. It's not, but it is El Haluf. Yeah, Sand River's the one with all the dunes. El Haluf is the one with the big pit in the middle. Yeah, so I went up to the heavy brawl just to try to annoy people who were crossing too early or whatever. Yeah. And the enemy team, like, I've never seen this, but well, I've seen it. But you don't see it very often. They just pushed.
Yeah.
Like they all together, like an organized team would. And we probably had 7 tanks and they had probably 12 of their tanks there. Whoa. And we had a bunch of campers on the ridge way back behind us. So anyway, I had to turn and run, and when I tried to make that corner, the WT was sitting over on their side, and of course we were lit. And then he just had a field day, and he 2 shots and finished me off.
Oh yeah.
So Not Working thinks it's Israel is the next tank. Huh. Brazil, Peru, Israel. Like, who would it be though? What nation would you add? Like, this is a nation, not just a line. I can't
think of a nation that's actually built their own tank. Maybe did South Korea make their own tanks?
Don't you think Israel sounds too controversial for me?
Controversial, yes.
I would be surprised if they put it in, but I suppose they could.
There's not many other nations.
Yeah, who's left really?
Yeah, that build their own tanks. Most people buy tanks off other countries, don't they? You know, and have them slightly adapted. South Korea, too new. Yeah.
Well, think about. Yeah. I suppose you could put a nation in that actually didn't have low tier tanks. I guess.
Right, and started from tier 6 or something.
Yeah, because I'm trying to look at, all right, what nation would actually have a tier 1, 2, and 3, like from those eras? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And then kind of enough tanks during World War II to make the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 era.
Yeah.
Like who? I don't know. Yeah, like it seems like any.
Oh yeah, because they've got to be at least Second World War and before, haven't they?
Right.
Sort of thing.
I mean, I suppose you could cobble some together. Like, yeah, you might be able to cobble some together. Like, well, we have Czech. Romania, did they have tanks? I don't know.
No, they had German.
Mostly,
rockets. Yeah.
But I think a lot of those countries had their own early designs. They just didn't. There just weren't many of them.
Well, Gator says India, but I think India was Soviet, wasn't it? Not the country, but the tanks they got.
Well, World War II, the only tanks they would have would be British.
British, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
I guess.
Luxembourg says attack rose. Yeah, Luxembourg, that's the one.
That's it.
Switzerland, they've got tanks as well. Oh dear.
I mean, I guess.
Where else in the world could you have tanks? Alaska. Have Alaska got tanks? Vatican.
I mean, maybe Brazil. Someone said Brazil. I guess maybe Brazil.
What would they be though? Surely they're American tanks. They would have bought American tanks, surely.
Yeah.
Or,
I don't know. So that's the.
yeah.
I mean, Israel's probably the one that makes the most sense to me, just in terms of the tanks.
Well, not really, because they weren't. Israel wasn't in existence in the Second World War, was it?
I mean, I suppose you could go with British tanks for after the World War One when Britain was.
But they've done that, haven't they? They've done Australian versions of the
Yeah.
British tanks. They've done, they've got a Matilda in the Soviet line.
That's true. It's not a nation until 48. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll find out.
Okay. Wait and see.
Interesting that it's an entire new nation. And then you have to ask yourself, all right, is this because we do have some nations that only have very few lines. You know what I mean?
There are, yes. There
like
is
the Polish.
The Czech or the Polish.
The Czech, this is Czech. Yeah, the Czech has now filled in with 3, but what's Poland got? 2? No, they have 3 now. Okay. I forgot because we put the TDs in there. There you go.
Well, Swedish.
Swedish ends up with 3. Yeah. They do split off to 3. Italian has 3.
Yeah.
Interesting. I would have. So, all the nations are 3 or more. Oh, there you go. Huh. Hadn't really thought about that, but we'll see. Halloween 2024. Looks like Mirny 13 base, 2 new bosses. Starting October 16th. I thought they said Mirny was done. Didn't they say that?
Yeah, did they not come to a conclusion? I'm trying to think now. Or no, was it not tied into? I'm sure they come to a conclusion.
The story is done.
The story is done.
But they're going to go back and start a new story. And yeah, maybe. Who knows? That's a lot of work on maps and stuff to not use it anymore. Eke into the mode. Okay. Yeah, Australia, Canada combined. Maybe. Yeah, Commonwealth. There you go. You could do a Commonwealth line.
Yeah,
you could do a
the AX in there and all that.
New Zealand, Australia, Canada kind of idea. Yeah, you could do that. But they'd be a lot of copy pastas.
Yeah, of course they would be. Be a lot of American and British tanks in there because they're sort of limited.
Yep.
Unless it's unless.
All right, I think that's kind of all that's in the news here. Common test. Let's go over there and check that out because this is kind of interesting, actually. What's going on here? This is update 126.1. Get this where you guys can see it. While we're waiting, let's do this. It does say Waffentracht. Oh, prize. Hold on, let me edit this. That's interesting. There, that's what happened. Okay, so it was my error. Let's get rid of the lunar boxes and do the right thing here. Good luck, fellas. All right, we'll give 5 more away again. Let's go here and check out this 1261 Common Test 1. Local weather. What do you think, Pilgrim? Weather? I don't care about weather. I don't need weather in the game.
No, the thing is, if you introduce rain or something moving on the screen, then a lot of the lower end computers aren't going to deal with it. Rain and flowing water tends to be the highest graphic packages, isn't it? So why and what effect? I don't know. It doesn't add to the game in my opinion. But hey, what do I know?
So they're going to put rain, fog, forest fire, sandstorm. It's Westfield, Fisherman's Bay, Outpost, Fjords, Muravanka, and Sand River. So Sergeant Major Rock.
Sandstorm, visibility problems.
So Sergeant Major Rock, you would think, but the problem with that is you can't. And the reason you can't is they actually have in-game effects on the game rules, on the game rule set. So
right.
The boundaries of the events break line of sight. for those inside and outside, so you'll not be able to spot players in the area if you are outside it. But magically, I guess when you get inside it, you can. I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, the spotting range inside any local weather event is halved.
Yeah. So that's annoying, because if you are a light tank player and you've scaled your tank up to do the max you can, and then you get into those situations, it's just I don't know. It's not adding to the gameplay, in my opinion. It's more like adding effects like that should be switch offable, for want of a better word.
No, sorry, not working as intended. There are no new maps, but we are going to have your scout's vision in the scout area.
Great. Yeah, great.
And you won't be able to see anybody in them until you poke 1 meter inside of them, and then all shall be revealed. But
Fantastic.
you can cloaking device yourself by going into the fog.
Yeah.
Even though, from what I can see through that fog.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Well, you can move up close, but you got half your vision, so you're going to have to be close.
You're going to have to move up close anyway, aren't you?
So it's still the same vision game. You just physically are closer. I don't know.
Also, if you're there spotting and your team is way back when, if they won't be able to see anything, because their vision is, their circles will be decreased.
Well, it says you can't see in it. So once someone goes in the fog and you're outside, you can't see them. Period.
There you go.
And they can't see you. Although, does that, if someone else sees them, then do you get their highlight or see them?
I don't know, it's interesting, isn't it? Again, it's stuff that we don't need in the game. What we need is new maps, people. Come on, Wargaming, give us new maps. Give us non-channelized or canonized maps. That would be good. Yeah, the Brits will have an advantage. We're used to the fog.
So I just don't see this being it's not
I don't
something.
think it's an enhancement of the game.
No, it's just. I mean, sure, it'll
Visual effect.
introduce some new things to think about and worry about. But
Dynamics. So yeah, certainly it will change some of the dynamics of the game. To be honest,
I don't know.
I don't know.
And it definitely, like you said, there is a blurb here about system performance. So if you've got a lower end system, it will certainly cause issues, or can cause issues depending on your system. So something to think about. And then this is really interesting. Here in the list of other things nobody cares about is a tech tree trade-in.
Right. What? So which negates the whole purpose of grinding then.
Well, it's odd. I never really thought about this. I don't even know where this would come from. But essentially, if you've unlocked a line, there will be certain lines that you can trade that line for the new line. So basically, you lose all you are no longer unlocked. Those are all locked again, and then you unlock the other line. And there's a whole. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but in the important details thing here, there's all kinds of. Modules will be removed. Equipment will be put back in your thing. All your crew members, the experience goes here, and this, that, and it's all the rules for how that's going to work, which is pretty crazy. And it does remove improved and experimental equipment. Now there is a cost, and it can be a gold cost. You apparently can use other things for it as well. I think the cost thing's kind of interesting, especially if you're talking about improved and experimental equipment, because those can be expensive to remove, and it's doing it for free.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Okay.
there you go. We're gonna take a 5-minute break, guys. I'll be right back. I gotta take a break. Right back.
Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. spoke in a tongue with strange dialect. He offered his help to the mighty Guido to bring some laughter to his love of speedos. To the coffee talk they both came, to bring the message of winning ways to all and sundry and the masses. Yes, that's right, lads and lasses. The damage counts and flexing back will keep you on the right track. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. So in what, if you want to progress, then seek out Guido nonetheless. With his sidekick Pilgrim, he has a message that to win you must be aggressive. The position and place that you must seek, for the winners only, not the weak. The guru speaks, so listen well. His voice rings out like the Liberty Bell to bring you all to Unicom land, or to die hard trying in the sand. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. To the swamplands came the mountain man to teach his wisdom and pay his due. A man with a name only known to a few. To his followers his words are true. Guido is the man, big and gruff. He used to fly jets, but now he does the tanking stuff. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. The mountains are home where he watches the moose and hummingbirds aplenty. But he saw the need for the Watt community to have a guru and lead them gently.
All right, we're back. Apparently, the midnight pizza wasn't a great idea.
That was one serious session you had last night, then.
On the list of great ideas, that was not on the list. Woo. All right, and the good news is we can give away our thing here. Let's do this.
Cool.
Let's give away.
Still rigged.
Rigged. All right, the winner is, boom, Attack Crows. Ribbed.
So rigged. Oh, dude.
Nice. Hey, Jollins, how you doing, man? Attack Crows, what's your in-game name? Refresh my memory. All right, back to here. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, common test stuff. So there you go, common test stuff. Common test stuff. It is Attack Crows. Is there no
C in?
Is there no C in it, or did you just mistype?
Oh yeah, could be on your friends list.
Could be, but it's not. All right.
It's a mistype. Yeah, it's Attack Crows.
Let's go find the store and go to the store. Find a Waffentrager and 5 boxes and it probably will show up once I start writing attack. Attack rows, got it, boom. 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 Thinking, and maybe. Thank you. All right, dude, on the way. Let us know what you got. If you have your client open, that'll be awesome. Ifin. What else, fellas? What else? I think that's pretty much it for this news trawl. Oh, what we need is another autoloader, loader, reloader, autoloader
of course
premium.
it is. Of course it is.
Oh, look, there's one. Cool. 300 alpha, Pilgrim.
It's just mental, isn't it?
A medium. It's a medium
Oh man.
auto reloader. 3 shells, 300 alpha.
Yeah. Yeah. Every competition mode that we have, they'll be in there.
No attack rows, no worries, man. Let us know next week. If you remember, let us know what you got next week. Yeah, 900, dude. What? 900 alpha. No wheels yet. Well, that's yeah. So the mechanic on this one is you press X and wheels come out the side.
Yeah.
And then
press X.
and then
Absolutely.
it moves at 90 miles an hour.
Yeah.
What's its armor? Turret's 200, hull's 70. It's got -8 gun
Rocket
depressing. I don't know if this is a typo, but it's only carrying 40 ammo.
Crikey.
You know?
So that's 3 reloads. No, it's got to. That must be wrong.
No. Well,
That's
there's
3.
no. That's a bunch of reloads. It's only 3 shells.
Sorry. It's
It's like 10 reloads, more than 10.
10 reloads. Yeah.
12, I guess, with 2 left over, something like that.
Yeah.
Or no, 13 with 1 left over. Anyway, it's not divisible by 3. I know that.
No.
Interesting. Now, I don't think you're going to run out with 40 though, because rarely does anyone shoot 40 shells in a game.
No.
But I was looking at
Unless you
some of
got
the
one.
other mediums. I don't know any mediums that have that few of shells. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's got a
Interesting,
105 on it, so it's got a pretty good cannon for a tier 8,
It's
pretty
good.
big.
Yeah, the good cut. Yeah.
It levitates, yeah. So that thing's, and that's super test, I believe. Yeah, so who knows what shape that will be when it comes out, so to speak. Here's something I found interesting, because we've talked about this multiple times. This is a report for What Are You? So, major rebalancing of vehicles, okay, and addition of visual effects.
Oh, okay.
What visual effects?
I'm not talking fog, rain, and snow. Then
I don't know.
could be.
It doesn't say anything in here in the article. That's why I thought it was sort of interesting. Like, hold on a minute. Are you? Does that mean they're also going to get these effects? And if so, are they working together on them?
Yay! Of course they are.
I mean, it could be mud or rain or who knows what, or new smoke, or I don't know.
Visual effects.
Yeah.
Moonbeams. That's the one, Jimmy. Moonbeams.
We need moonbeams. Moonbeams should blind your commander.
Or maybe the RU's introducing the use of drones. Don't know.
Well, you are in a drone because you can zoom out.
You are actually, yeah.
Yeah, you
can,
command
yeah,
your tank via drone.
Yeah, because you can see behind rocks and walls
Yeah,
and things.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fairly
Use that
limited.
to good advantage.
Fairly limited drone. I can't go everywhere,
yeah.
but
No.
it has problems with buildings.
Yeah, it does. Mountains. New arty drones. Yeah, that'd be cool.
And if you're going to buy those boxes, by the way, fellas, you better do it soon because they're only here for another 5 days. So get out there and spend.
Oh, indeed, yeah. Make wargaming even richer than it is.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
And that's about everything I got, I think, Pilgrim. Got anything to add to the fellas?
No,
here?
it's been not a lot to really. It's been not a lot to go on about because we've got the Waffentrager event and we've got Battle Pass running in the background, and I think that's about as much as we can do this week.
Yeah. Gave away some boxes. That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun actually. Yeah, it was unexpected and You know, the two rigged winners. I hope they do well out of it.
Red Goose, yeah, I can Red Goose. We'll go Red Goose. That'll work. Like I said,
he's on now, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not sure. Is he on from last night, or is he starting early?
I wonder because he was on last night. I did pop in and say hi.
He has to be about done, right?
Yeah, unless he's pushing the big one out.
What does that mean? I don't know either. Oh, man. I hope he's not doing that. Not live, anyway.
Oh, man.
All right. Yeah, no one knows what it means. It doesn't sound good, though. Pushing a big one out.
Yeah, he had too much pizza last night, the same as somebody else.
Woo-wee! That came on, too, man.
Yeah.
I was just sitting here talking, and I'm like, you know what, fellas? I gotta take a break, because you know when your gut goes, brr, like you hear it and feel it, like they get that bubble thing. You're like,
yeah, I know what that is. Yeah.
Gotta.
If it was more solid, it's known over here. I don't know what it's known in America, but that situation, if it was more solid, is basically poking out a turtle's head.
How did we get here?
I don't know.
I blame.
What sort of channel is this?
I blame Cliffy.
Yeah, Cliffy's the one to blame.
I had my gallbladder out 10 years ago. I haven't trusted it for. Oh man!
You can't, can you? You can't, not with that situation going on.
Is that the gallbladder's job?
I don't know.
Is it the gatekeeper?
Oh dear, that's terrible. That is terrible.
Ooh. That's. Oh, okay. But that then makes those things. Oh my
happen.
goodness.
Yeah, that's not. Should we stop the conversation now?
I got a buddy told me a story. We were on this same subject, and he's like, sometimes it just happens or whatever. I'm like, that's never just happened to me. I mean, I've always, touch wood. But he goes, one time he was towing a trailer. He had a caravan, so
Yeah.
And he was towing it, and he was headed somewhere, and he started, I got to find a bathroom fast. And no kidding, he said he was halfway across the parking lot to the bathroom at the gas station, and it didn't make it, right? So he has to. So he goes in and cleans up, comes back, gets into the caravan, cleans himself up, and as he's doing this, he sort of stops for a second. He looks. Well, what's in the caravan? Probably most caravans.
Toilet.
Yeah.
Toilet. In the
caravan, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when it dawned on him that all he really had to do was pull over off the road, run into his caravan.
Fantastic. Never mind.
He's like, I cannot believe I just did that to myself. All right.
Awesome.
Let's go raid. Well, he's a really smart guy.
Goose.
Yeah, let's go raid Goose. Fellas, thanks for coming by. Much appreciated. As I think I was trying to start to say and forgot, I don't know about next week.
Okay.
Actually,
well, I'm not going to be here anyway because we'll be up the mountains next weekend.
Are you? Okay.
3 Peaks. Yeah, I got the 3 Peaks next weekend. So Jollins, it's going to be raining all through the whole weekend. So he's going to be climbing up Ben Nevis, Scafell Pike, and Snowdon, the 3 highest peaks in the UK, next weekend. So I'm taking the guys up there.
So you do all 3 in a weekend?
Friday. No, in 24 hours. So they'll start on. Yeah, crazy. So they'll start. We go up there on the Friday next week. Stop overnight at Ben Nevis in Scotland. The guys then start the climb at 7 o'clock on Saturday morning, and they finish climbing at 7 o'clock on Sunday morning. And I'll pick them up from Wales, just outside Wales. So yeah, good fun for them, not for me. You know what I mean? They're going to get a bit wet.
Oh, you're not climbing?
Oh no, I'm not doing it, mate. I've done it twice. Why would I do it again?
Don't you have to train?
What, to climb that? Yeah, these guys have been training like mad.
Don't you have to train for your event?
Oh, my Everest event is 3 years away. My training starts next month. Yeah. So sod that. You know what I mean?
You're the leader of the expedition, dude. You have to.
Yeah,
you got to climb with the boys, man.
I'm just gonna wing it. I'm just gonna. What me go with the boys? Get them up there. They can do it. Sorry, you know what I mean? I've done it twice. Yeah, I've been Ben Nevis more times than a frog. You know what I mean? I didn't even want to go up there. It's only a walk.
Is Snowdon the one? Is Snowdon the one that has the tram that goes up it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not exactly a mountain, is it? But you got
because there's a cafe up there, right?
Yeah. It's just like
I've been up there.
It's a tourist trap.
Yeah, I've been up on it. It's kind of cool.
You've been up there. You've been up Snowdon. Yeah, it's a goat track, isn't it?
We went up to that little Welsh village at the bottom that has the tram that goes up it.
Yeah.
You just ride up. You know, you can walk it, but I just ride.
I just
rode.
American, innit?
Yeah.
Just use your vehicle. Why are you walking?
Use a drone, big enough drone, just carry your ass up there.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Go ahead.
I was going to say I'm looking forward to Sunday morning when I see them stagger into the train station to get into the vehicle. I'll be waiting for them.
What are the odds they make it? What do you think?
Oh, they'll do it. Yeah.
Okay.
They've trained hard, both of them. So good on them.
All right.
They have trained hard. I mean, Jollins' brother did Ironman the other week, which is 56 miles on a bike, 2 miles swimming, and I think it's another couple of miles running or something. So he's just did that the other week. So, fit guys, they'll do it.
Good.
They'll do it.
All right. It's Guido signing off from the left side of the Atlantic.
Pilgrim signing off from the correct side of the Atlantic.
See
Have fun.